Artificial intelligence has been around for a long, long time, way before ChatGPT came onto the scene. They were just the one that kind of made it blow up. So, of course, as a material comes out, as a new product comes out, people learn how to refine it and make it better and better and better. Today, we're going to be talking to one of the co founders of Rubi.ai, which is a platform that I'm using. And I got to tell you, I vetted this thing for hours and hours and hours on end before I decided I was going to use it because I'd been using ChatGPT. I was completely happy with that. Like, why would I use another AI platform? And I got to tell you, Ruby is not your grandma's AI. Okay. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about Ruby, how it can help you to get your message out there. There's a lot of different bells and whistles that it has to offer. We're going to cover a couple of them today. So stick around. I'm going to bring up our guest, Robert Sacco, co-founder of Ruby. And Robert, I'm excited to talk to you about this because AI has literally changed my entire world. You know, the way I write, the way I think. I mean, it's been amazing. And so what I want to talk to you first about before we dive into like who you are and what you're all about is like, why Ruby? Why did you decide I got to make something better than, I'm not going to say that you said this, but what I'm saying, better than ChatGPT, okay? What made you decide to do that?
Well, I think the main thing is I always look at trying to bring new technologies to the masses. And I kind of look at it like the cell phone is that the cell phone was great and it was amazing what Apple could do with it and then what Samsung could do with it. And you had 4 or 5 big players that were making phones. But what really made the phones great was when the applications came out that made the phone do a lot of different things. And it was very easy for people to use it. That's when things became, that you had to have one to live. And that's kind of the same way I look at AI is that AI, we're going to have the big players like the chat GPTs, OpenAI and Entropic and some people like, Bard and all the IBMs and all that stuff out there. But until you can make it easy where everybody can use it, they're not going to be able to really implement that into their life yet. And so that's what Ruby is about, is taking everything that AI has benefit wise, sticking it into one little package and making it super easy to use so everybody in the world can have the benefits.
Yeah, I love it because it has so many more elements than ChatGPT. And right now, I mean, it's the wild, wild west in AI, right? So it's like once that open AI came available to everybody, November, I think it was November of last year, 2022, when it was kind of like starting to trickle out there. I was one of those first, like I was already using Jasper. I had been using that.
Yes.
Before it was named something else, I can't remember, but I had already been using that for a couple of years. And then when ChatGPT came out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so simple. But the simplicity also can be limiting. And that's the thing is that, so what Ruby offers is to utilize not only the chat functions, the chat features, but also other elements that make it a lot easier for us to write. Now, me as a non-writer, because even though I'm a publisher, I'm really not much of a writer, but artificial intelligence has helped me to learn how to form my questions better, to ask it better questions so that I can get the results that I'm really looking for. So with Ruby, one thing I would like to talk about is, first of all, what's your background? Like why? Because you said you like to make technology better, but what's your background? How did you get into this? I mean, are you like a flash in the pan? Like one day you were like, I'm just going to make this better.
Oh, I'm just going to do this. No, it's not like that at all. So my background really is advertising and marketing. I opened up an ad agency in 1995. And so that was really my background, did it for 20 years. And then I was in network marketing as well. So I do like, some things about network marketing was been great. And I actually have spent the last 5 years as owning an IT company, just building technology that helps people do affiliate marketing and understanding sales and marketing. And then when you got into AI about 2 years ago, we started really digging into AI and how it could just make my life easier. Like I could go from doing 1 or 2 clients a month to 500 clients a month because I could scale it so much bigger using AI. And I just think that that's where the future is going. I've got 4 kids. 3 of my kids are in college or out of college, and they have to know how to use it to be competitive in this world. And I think that this is the marketplace that is really at the right place, right time for us to create a great product like this.
Let's talk about that, because you mentioned, kids in school, and there's a lot of controversy out there, around AI. First of all, that it's going to turn our brains into mush and all these different things. And I got to tell you though, again, it's helped me learn how to ask better questions. So
Yeah.
I see it making me smarter, but let's talk about that. What about all those colleges out there, those high schools, junior high schools, all of them out there who are a little bit scared of AI, and they're, helping to, maybe put fear into other people. What's your thought on that?
So it's really interesting. So last year, my daughter was a senior in high school, and she actually was able to use an AI product that we had. And what I noticed it with her is that she was able to learn so much faster. She would spend less time doing research because the research was easy to gather. And then she could spend more time polishing the content that was there to make it her own. And she learned it better and faster in doing it that way. But she turned the paper in, it got an F because it was detected by AI. And they wouldn't let her do anything about it. And it was really a big deal because that was the class that she really needed to get a good grade on. And it was kind of traumatic, let's put it that way. But then 3 months later, we go to Ole Miss and we're checking her in. And the very first thing that her advisor tells her, she better learn how to be using AI. And so that's kind of where things are right now. That you still have some people out there that are saying you're not learning anything because they don't really understand AI themselves. They just understand that it's a cheat tool, and it's not really a cheat tool. It's a way to learn things faster and differently. But then you also have the real world that says, I don't care how you learned it. I just need you to be more productive and use it. And that's called the real world in business. Business don't care how you learn it. They care about how well you use it. And so my point of anything with AI is that AI doesn't replace people, but people who know how to use AI will. And that's kind of the way that I see AI. And I think that it's in a transition, but 16 plus year olds right now, they better be figuring it out, because this world is going to be running 100% based on AI and data, and they better be figuring it out or they're going to get left behind.
Should we be scared of that AI takeover?
No, I don't think it's about being scared. I think there are places for regulation. I think that there's a lot of places like that. And one of the things that you'll see in Ruby being held back a little bit right now is putting in imagery, putting in voice cloning, putting in some of the stuff that's maybe a little bit more where there's some regulations that will need to be put in place around it. And I think that they're coming. And I'm not against that, to be completely honest. I mean, I could see where a lot of these things can be used in a negative way. But at the same point in time, there's a lot of stuff that it's really great at doing. And I think that when you can put some regulatory stuff around it, I think it's going to be amazing. And I really think that there's really nothing to be scared of. I think it's just about getting people to be responsible.
Good point. Good point. Because it's only as good as the information that we put in, right? The output is only as good as the input that we put in and what we're asking it to do. Now, one of the things you mentioned, because you mentioned about your daughter and she got an F on her, paper and everything. And so I have this question, like, how do you know if what AI writes is or isn't plagiarism?
Yeah, so we added 2 really good microservices to Ruby that extends its capabilities. So not just being able to do conversational chat or using our pre-built modules to go out and really make great, accurate, prompts. But we added SPY, which is our surveillance and plagiarism identifier. So you can run your content through this product and it's going to come back and give you whether or not it's going to be detectable by AI. But it's also scouring everything that's in the Google index to see if it's been plagiarized. And if it has been, it's going to alert you to that. It's going to tell you where it was by the URL to take you exactly to where they found it. And then you can change that to make it your own and have unique content.
That's cool. We're going to show that in just a minute, because I want you to, I'll share my screen and we'll walk through a couple of the things that Ruby does and what makes it different. That right there is a big deal. It's like having that plagiarism detection, because with ChatGPT, it's not built in. This is something that's actually built in. And so it's a very simple process to go through. So what I'm going to do is
We added Ghost as well. So the other microservice we just added is called Ghost, and it allows you to rewrite multiple times. So if you're looking to amplify up your content levels or whatever, it really does help get more out there. That makes it unique. But it also has an avoid AI detection to allow you to kind of rewrite it and make it to where it falls underneath those AI detection softwares. And I think that's important today because there's, especially when you're looking at business and SEO, where Google's already looking to penalize for AI content, you need to have the ability to have the benefits of it, but play underneath the game. And that was actually my daughter's thing when she did it. That was one of the things that made me go and find the way to do this.
Thank goodness for your daughter, right? Well, thank goodness for her in many ways, but that's one of the ways is through that. So what I'm showing, yes. Okay, so let's walk through a little bit about Ruby. Maybe you can just tell me like where I should click and what have you. I'm going to show just Ruby on the screen so people can see what it looks like. And so why don't you tell me like where I should go right now?
So the two main things that you have just in Ruby in this base model is our modules, which is the page that you're on right now. We have hundreds of pre-built modules that are written by prompt engineers to get the most accurate and deep diving of the content that you're wanting. And they're all put into collections. And so you have different collections from marketing to writing to finance, whatever it is that you're kind of looking at. You have these collections of stuff that you can do. And you can just hover over one of those, find the ones that you want, and you can open it up to do the create content. You can look at that also in the list view. So if it's a little bit easier, you can change that in the drop down from visual to list. And you can just click on any of the different collections that we have, and you'll be able to see all of the different modules that are there. And just like the 3-month marketing plan at the very beginning there, you can just click on it. Just click on the little blue tab right there. And then it will bring up a little bit about what that prompt's going to be. And if you want to use that, you hit select the module to use the module, and it will open it right up into your create content. Now, the two things I really love about our create content page is, number one, I found that ChatGPT was very difficult. And when I wanted to do multiple things at the same time, sorry, my dogs are going crazy. Hang on.
That's all good. I have them too.
Okay. Well, my wife's walking in the door, so hang on. Okay, so what I love about it is that when ChatGPT, I'd have to run something and I might like it, then I have to copy it, take it over to a word processor, and then if I wanted to go back and do something else with it, I had to copy it and paste it back into. It was just very hard. So what we did is we added these modules that were pre-built. So if you clicked on the 3-month marketing plan, it will spin down the options of what you need to add to get the information that you need. And here, it's very simple. Just add a description about your business, and it will actually go and create a 3-month marketing plan that's reverse engineered based on that information that you're giving it. And so you don't have to know a lot about it. You don't have to have great prompting skills. You don't have to have it do anything. You literally can just run it, and it's going to start to create amazing content for you. And once that content is finished there, you actually can take it and copy and paste it over into your composer window on the other side. And you can edit it there, and you can do multiple modules and cut and paste back and forth until your document is really the way that you want it. And from there, you can download it, you can save it into our saved content, and you can always refer back to it the way you need to. So it's a program that allows you to really do multiple modules all within the exact same platform. And it really makes building your documents, especially like blogs or marketing plans, where I want to expand on certain sections. Maybe like it tells me I need to do a loyalty program, but I want to expand on that. I can literally cut and paste that over into my composer window, and then I can go and say, okay, open up a new module. Let's go into a paragraph generator, for instance, and then I can have it elaborate even further with another module. So this is unable to be done inside of ChatGPT or a conversational AI. This is something that is specific to Ruby. These are Ruby's own modules that are professionally written to make sure that you're getting the most accurate and deep information without having to have any AI knowledge. Like, you don't have to know anything. And so it's very simple to use, very easy to get the information that you need. And you can continue to edit that. Now, the great thing about this too is that everything's integrated into the same page. So if you don't mind, can you just like copy just like the marketing strategies area of it,
Oh
just
yeah.
like that little
Okay.
section of
So
the whole
like right
thing.
here. Oh, this like
Yeah, just like do that to the tactic side. And just
okay.
paste that over into the composer window for me. There you go. And now from that, if you go up just a little bit on the screen, you'll see that there's a something called spy audit up in the blue right. So this is our surveillance and plagiarism identifier. So we're going to go ahead and be able to run that. This is going to check to see if this has actually been run through an AI content, the software, see if it's be detectable. So go ahead and hit run audit if you don't mind. And what this is going to do is again, it's going to check for plagiarism as well. And if plagiarism shows up, it go up to the top up there for me.
Scroll up here. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see that it, obviously we know it was AI created because it was created here, but it's plagiarism free. And if it had any plagiarism pieces in there, it would actually show me exactly where those links are. Now I want to show you Ghost real quick. So if you'll scroll back down just a little bit, and then hit Ghost Rewrite. Yes, right there. This is going to take that same content. It's going to rewrite it now into a way to make it more human-like. Now, I always tell people there's nothing that is 100% when it comes to AI detection. There's false positives, there's false negatives, and there's people who write just exactly like the algorithms are for AI. So those people are always looking for trying to get avoid of that because they're getting blamed for it all the time. But here, this will rewrite it. If you click the little ghost button up there in the right, where it says Ghost Rewrite,
This one here.
and now let's go ahead and up to your top right, the little radio button up there.
This one right here. Ghost writing.
Right there. Yes. Click that, and then hit Run Audit again. This is going to run the same rewrite of text, and it's going to show up. And now we've just taken our AI content that was 100% and we're knocking it down to 27% AI. That's going to pass anything that's out in the AI detection software right now. And so now you can post that. If it's SEO, you're going to be great because Google's going to see that as human. You're going to be able to pass that through your school, from Turnitin or GPT-0, copy leaks. All of those are now going to see this as majority of human written content, and just getting that under 50-60%, that's kind of where that mark needs to be. And so very simple to take your content and push it underneath the AI radar.
That is awesome. I love it. I love it. I'm glad you explained that because, you take your AI marketing materials over here and then you just have it rewrite it for you. And that right there is a huge time saver, huge time saver.
Oh, it's majorly huge. And then of course you have, if you look at the top menu up there, you see Ghost. Ghost also, if you click on the Ghost one at the top, there you go. You can just paste that in if you don't mind again on the left side. There you go. And then just change your selections for how many different versions you want. Select that to 2 or 3 on your versions. And then change it over here. You have 3 different settings of how you can rewrite it. You can do minimal change, or kind of our moderate change is set as a default. Do maximum change so we can get a lot of change on these talk bits. And then hit Ghost for me. So this is going to go ahead and take it and write that same content in 3 different versions. So you'll have the original version and 3 additional versions that you will be able to take out. And if you're doing SEO, for instance, or you just want to put out a bunch of different content with the same message, but you want them to show up as unique content, this is the best way to do that. And now you can see if you click on the 1, 2, and 3 and in the bottom right, each one of those is written with the same subjects, but it's written in a total different way to show up as a unique content. And so this is a very easy way to amplify the amount of content you're putting out there very quickly.
That's awesome.
Can't do that in
How excited are you about your own product? Oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I love it. And this is the cool thing. So Ruby's just getting started in all of this. So we have our chat GPT, by the way, type like thing is called Ask Ruby. If you click on our chat, it's a conversational chat. That will allow you to do anything that you're doing on ChatGPT or on Claude 2. You'll be able to use that and create anything that you want as far as content that's not in a module. We also give you tips there. So if you're new to running chat, we have a tip drawer that pulls out and kind of guides you to help write some of your prompts in our chat. But we're just getting started. We have an aggressive.
Is that on this page right here?
Yeah,
because I don't see the tips.
Yeah, if you click on chat right up here in the top menu.
Okay.
And essentially that's Ask Ruby right there. So you have a full-fledged chat that's sitting in there. If you click the little light bulb right there in the left. It'll actually bring up
Oh,
our tip drawer. And there is all the little trips, or what I like to call a little cheat sheet for you to help kind of get started in writing the best prompts. And you can play around with that and get to be familiar with writing some of the prompts if you really want to do that. But really, it's a combination of using the conversational chat to really get in some quick questions. But if you really want deep diving, high product quality, our modules are above the standard of anything that's out there, and it's really they deliver amazing stuff for you. And we put new ones out every week.
Okay. And so this chat function right here, this is the ChatGPT equivalent, sort of?
Yeah, but it's a conversational AI. So you can just go in and type anything that you want in the bottom where it says Ask Ruby. You can start to put in stuff like, here's a good one. We just kind of did a 3-month marketing plan. So just put in, create me a 3-month marketing plan for a company called Rubi.ai. Okay. So it's going to give you a 3-month marketing plan that's going to be generating something, that's based upon Rubi.ai. It understands what that is already. So it's going to generate some of that. But what you're not going to have is you're not going to have this reverse engineered, heavy, detailed stuff, even though this is extremely good. So this is one of the things that I think is so funny is that we would spend so much time in my ad agency to go and create these for our clients. And it would take days and weeks sometimes. And if you really did a lot of research on like their keywords and competitive analysis, and then you put all that in there, it would take a long time and we would charge a lot of money for it. And it isolated some people out. And what I think that AI does more than anything is it levels the playing field for everybody to be able to play and really get the great content. Now, and this is great content, but it's not near the detail of what you're getting with our professional prompts for the 3-month marketing plan.
Right.
But it's awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, why don't you share us with us a little bit about, like, on the top here it has balance and this balance here, because I know that I want you to use your language, but the way this operates is equivalent to a direct sales sort of company where there are lines and levels and stuff like that. This isn't my area of expertise at all, so I have no idea what I'm saying, by the way.
Okay. So we chose to take it out through network marketing, mainly because the reason of, for most people to understand AI and any application, even if ChatGPT, which is very simple, ask it a question and get good stuff, to get good quality stuff, you really need to be taught. Like, you need some training, you need teaching. And the one thing that network marketing does is that, number one, it's easy to share something that works so good for you personally, just to share it with someone that that could use it too. But it's also easy for you to demo it and say, hey man, look what this did for me. It made a 7-day meal plan for me. It's got amazing recipes, and it told me where to go buy it, how much it was going to cost for me to get it, and what stores I can go get it in. There's amazing things that it can do. And so for sharing that, it was easy to say network marketing is a great way to do this. But more than that, it gives us a time to really teach people how to use this product. And so every Saturday we have a podcast called FlexCast that you can come in. We teach and train on this and also how to build a business if that's what you're wanting to do as well. So it's a way of helping people extend beyond just a simple tool or a simple application. It's truly about helping people use it and implement it into their lives. And we can do that into a network marketing company, where we really can't do that if I'm just saying, hey, here's a try, I'll try it. If you like it, great, buy it. If not, we'll move on. This really helps us get a little bit more connection with Ruby. And I think that that's the experience optimization that we're talking about when we talk about XOAI.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I love this because, again, the simplicity. And I watched every single one of your videos that you guys, I was very skeptical. Okay, I'll just put it this way. I was extremely skeptical. I'd been using Jasper for a couple of years. ChatGPT came out. It's very simple to use. And then when I was introduced to this by my friend Heidi, she told me about it, and I was like, oh, all I need is another AI platform. Right?
No, I know. Yep.
And so I went and watched every single YouTube video. You guys had some interviews on there. You had a lot of trainings on there, what to do. I'm not interested in as much on the business side as that I am for it to help me with my business. Like that's where I'm focused on.
Right.
And so I was coming in from a
Right.
place of like, I don't care if I make a dime from it. I don't care if I get a single person
Right.
using it under me. That's not what I'm doing this for. But then when I started like really diving in and looking to see what it can do, that's when I was like, okay, this is something my clients can use. As a book publisher, our clients are
Yeah.
authors. When they write a
Yeah.
book, like even if you don't use it to write your book, let's say you 100% write your book from your own head, you still got to market it. You still got to
Yeah.
figure out how to create courses, how to blog about it. And this platform is going to make it a lot easier for you to do that. The organization behind it, the way it has everything lined up, everything is sectioned out into what makes the most sense. Now, Robert, you coming from a marketing background, you of course bring that to this platform. And so you're looking at it from that perspective of a marketing agency. How can I create a product that's going to make it a lot easier for people to get their message out there? And as a publisher and as book authors, a lot of times I think people think like you write the book, Field of Dreams, build it, they will come. You don't write it and they come and reading it. You gotta market the damn thing. Right?
Exactly. A lot of marketing. You'll just spend 100 times more marketing it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I think it's easy enough. I think it's easy enough for people to understand it too. Once they get going, a lot of people aren't marketing people. They don't come from that background. They don't understand it. Yeah. And so one of the big things for me is to bring that experience to here. We did a great event the other day that was all about, teaching people navigating, digital marketing with Ruby and how much easier that can be when it's doing competitive analysis, doing keyword research. I mean, there's so much that goes into marketing something that we bring in. I would charge $500 a course to have these people come in. We did it for free for our Ruby Div people. And I think it's just super important that they understand the power that they can use to implement this in the world.
That's huge right there because as you mentioned, I came from a legal background. I was a legal secretary for 25 years. When I became a business owner, I'm thrust in this world of having to learn how to market. Like I don't know how to do any of that, how to sell and market, all these things we have to learn how to do. And it takes a lot of time to do that if you're not really diving into, because that wasn't my business. Yeah. That was something I just have to do for my business. And so I love how you guys do all these trainings, helping people to get their message out there, to learn how to use not only the platform, but this knowledge that you learn is knowledge that you will take into your business, no matter what you do with it. So that's one thing I think is important.
Exactly, regardless.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to make so much value. So it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Our roadmap is really aggressive. I mean, by the time you get down to the end of our first quarter next year, I mean, you're talking about things like workflow automation built in, all kinds of stuff that would just make your mind, go crazy about marketing, where you're having automatic, workflow for emails and all kinds of stuff that are going to help your closing ratios and conversions. And then, of course, you have your video, your audio, your dubbing in multi-language and all the stuff that happens, with AI. All that's coming in our roadmap. And, we're pretty aggressive. And this is one of the things that we've made a commitment to, is just to stay above what is happening. If there's new stuff out there, we're going to find a way to get it and bring it into this. So like with Midjourney and Stable Diffusion and bringing that capabilities inside. So you don't have to go outside and get a new account and figure it all out and do that. Well, you can just stay in here, write your prompts right here, let Ruby write the prompt for you, and they'll bring the picture up for you and you're done.
Awesome. Yeah. So all these different platforms he's talking about, these are all different AI platforms that are out there that are available for us to use, but he's talking about bringing it all into one place. So it's like a one-stop shop, I guess, basically is what you can.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's just the way that they all integrate together. So, if you want to create a social media post and you need an image for that, you can go look on stock photos for that, or you can just let, Ruby do it for you. It's going to bring you some samples in based upon what your text is, and it's going to have them there. You select which one you want. Now you're done, and you post it and click it up there right onto your Facebook, right from Ruby. These are the things that will make it so easy and make life, change for so many people. Levels the playing field. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. Now you can check it out at myflex.ai/Linda Sunshine West. That's Linda with a Y, Sunshine West. You can check it out there. This is my affiliate link. So if you do end up joining Ruby, I will make some money. Again, I'm not into it for that. I'm using it for the platform that it is. And so I don't even know how much money I would make. So just go check it out over there and you can find out all that information later. But Robert, I know when people click on that link, that they're going to be taken to a question. It's going to say, are you a preferred customer or a distributor? Which one do you want to do? So why don't you share with us the difference between those two?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're interested in building a business with AI, I think that Flex honestly has this opportunity plus AI. Like that's where we are today. If ever wanted to be in a business where you could sell something that you didn't have to design, you didn't have to build, you didn't have to know how to code or anything else, but you want to be a part of it, then this is an opportunity for you to be a part of that business and to do that. Just choose distributor, and it costs nothing to do that. You just get your product and move in. Or you can be a preferred customer. If you don't have anything that you want to do with the business, just be a customer. That's great. And we love customers as much as we do distributors. We just love people using our products. So you just choose that when you come in. If you're interested in the business, we'll tell you more about it as you go through the distributor link. If you're just a customer, you're just going to be able to learn more about our product and then join this subscription model that you all want. One thing I would like to say just about our subscriptions is that every one of our subscription levels, we have a basic, a pro, and a premium. All of the things that we're talking about, all of those features are on every single one of those. So if you came in at the $15 a month or the $50 a month, all the features are in all three of our subscriptions. And the only difference is the amount of usage that you're wanting to go into. So when we were talking about, you saw the words, the credits, we do it with words and credits based upon how much usage, so that, one person's not using 1 billion words and one of them's using 5 words and they're all in the same basic price point. To balance it out. We just have them set up so that you decide the usage that you want, and that's where your subscription would be based. I can just tell you that most people are coming in between 25 and 50 because once they get attached to this thing, it's like you and me. It's in every part of our life. So,
right, exactly. Now, I want you to share, because you mentioned a little bit about Q1 in 2024. What's your vision for Ruby? Like, say, 5 years down the line, have you been looking at it that far? What did Ruby tell you your vision for 5 years down the line is?
Yeah, no kidding. So I think that anything you're talking about right now with AI, I think that 5 years down the road is so far out. Like it moves so fast that we could sit down and say, this is what we think it's going to be 5 years from now. It might be that in 6 months. I mean, it's just moving that fast. So what we've done is we put a very aggressive roadmap based upon the current technologies that we're working on, current technologies that are into the workplace, and seeing how we can incorporate those that fit. And then we can break those down into individual sides that might make sense to you, but not to somebody else. Like credit repair might be a good one. So we might have a specific add-on module that's nothing but credit repair, because that's obviously something that's great at AI. And if that appeals to you, then you can use it. If you don't, you don't. And so those are the little things that we see as adding on, becoming more specific. Law firms would be another good one. I mean, it might be a good place for a law firm to have a lot of stuff that the paralegal would be working on right now. We can do 10 times the work that a paralegal can do. So there's just a lot of places in specific niche markets that are going to expand in our vision. But ultimately, it's about taking mass products, pushing them all into one place where they all work well together and make your life easier to use them. And as those come out, whether it be video creations, whether it be audio cloning and dubbing, I mean, there's a lot of things that are out there. Even new technologies outside of even this are coming to Flex, where we're using AI maybe to do a Zoom that, is in 27 countries, and you can choose the language and it's real time, pushed out, and you hear it in my voice because that's cloning my voice, but it's in your language, all done in real time. So these are the type of things that we'll see on top of everything that goes into Ruby.
Man, it's crazy good. Crazy good. We do have a question. One of our viewers, first of all, hello from Cape Town, South Africa.
Awesome.
Pretty awesome.
Yes.
Good point. Save it. We got a lot of Facebook users here. They're inside the groups. So we're not able to see their names. This is a great conversation. Let's see. It was a powerful training. I learned so much about marketing. I'm not sure which one they're referring to, but it must have been the training you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah,
then keep rocking it, Linda Sunshine West and Ruby. Okay, so here's the
that's
question.
great.
Would I need to repeatedly put my ICA and my expertise into each module? And ICA, I'm assuming, is ideal client avatar.
Yeah, so I think one of the great things is we have well, actually, it's probably the one thing that separates us more than anything else I didn't touch on. It's called Personify. It's our microservice that really sets us apart from a lot of other things, where you can go in and create a persona. You can create as many personas as you want, but these personas allow you to choose them as you are going and actually building your modules. So at the very top of the module on the left-hand side, if you can scroll up, you'll see that there is a place for a persona to be selected. Keep going up just a little bit more for me on the left side.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
There you go. And if you hit that persona, this allows you to the personas that you've created in Personify are available. So just if you'll just select one for just a second, our Personify, again, not needing to have anything other than like a product description or a goal of where you're wanting to go with your business, it's going to go and create a full-fledged persona. So we're not talking about just a tone. And that was the one thing about, most of the AIs that are out there. They say put a tone or add a tone to it, and that's only 1/5 of how it really needs to be, because the voice is just as important. The style in which I tell you this tone is just as important as anything else. And then also there's a bunch of psychographics that go into building my exact audience. I need the motivations, I need the pain points, I need all those things, and essentially our personas are built that way. And so when you're creating a module, all you do is select a persona, go ahead and choose a voice. We create 3 voice and 3 tones that you can choose from. And this is how your module is going to be writing this based upon just the persona that you're choosing. You choose the voice, and then you can choose a tone. You also have, I believe there's 13 languages today that you can put your content out. And so you select whichever language that you want your content to end up in, and that's it. And then hit generate, and it's going to go ahead and do that for you. And it will write it based upon that persona. So great question. I can't believe I forgot that, to be honest. And then, by the way, when you create your persona, you can do it by text, or you can actually do it, let's just say, I love to kind of teach it about marketing. If I'm going to do competitive research, I might go put my URL in from my competitor, and I pull in their persona so I know who they're talking to and who their target market is, because I might just model exactly after what they're doing if it's working for them. The same thing I can do that with an Instagram influencer as well. If I have someone that's directly speaking to my target, I want to nail that every single time. I can do the Personify with just a simple little URL handle, and it'll pull all that. So
okay, you had to see the look on my face for that one. Like that's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I did create my persona, or whatever it's called there. I did create my persona, and I created one for Sally Green, who's on my team as well, because we do speak different languages. And so I love that feature.
I actually make one, if you looked at our corporate account for Ruby, I have one for each of our microservices, and I have one for Ruby itself, because every microservice has a different niche, right? So like Ghost is strongly going into my entrepreneurs, and it's going strongly into my students. So those are my 2 different genres that I'm going to be hitting in that. But Personify hits everywhere. And so I kind of keep it broad on that demographic. But anyway, yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot to it. And I just say go in and play with it. You're going to find a place that is going to fit into your life, and then you're going to get addicted. And that's a great addiction. If you're going to have one, that's a good one to have.
It's a time-saving addiction.
It is. And I'd much rather see my kids spend more time on really understanding and polishing a content than trying to go out and gather up research. I mean, research is such a time waster for most people, especially if they don't know where to go get it. So Ruby really makes it easy to get that data.
Well, let me ask this last question. Where does Ruby go to get the information? I think I know the answer, but for those who aren't really familiar with AI, how it operates and everything, where does Ruby go to get the information that it comes back with, and how legitimate is it?
So especially in the modules are different AI engines out there. There's a lot of things out there. As I said, it's like the phone, right? So you have people who are manufacturing the phones. You have the Apple, the Samsung, the Kia, the Motorola's, and you have those, Ericsson might be in the 5th one, right? So 5 big players in there. And then it limited to 2 because they all kind of merged and bought each other out. Now you got 2 big ones. Same thing I think is going to happen here. Everyone's kind of fighting for how they use their AI. You got Microsoft doing it some ways. You got OpenAI using it some ways. You've got Entropic with Claude 2. So what we do is we actually integrate with all of them. And what we do is we look to say, under this module, which way does it work best? So I can tell you that Claude 2 really puts out amazing content in certain areas, much better than OpenAI. But OpenAI 4 might do it a lot better than 3.5, and this one of 3.5 is better than that one. And so when we're putting the modules together, we're integrating a lot of that stuff into it. And then, of course, we're also using Ruby to learn. So it's learning as it's being used as well to help counter into some of that information.
Okay, one last question then. Of course, one answer leads to another question. That's what this is all about. Yeah, so when Ruby is learning, is Ruby learn, like, for example, I'm a book publisher. Is Ruby learning from me to help other people come up to is it utilizing my content to come up with answers for people inside of Ruby, or no?
Yeah, so no, the content that's coming from you guys isn't going to be being brought into the mentality of how Ruby functions. And by the way, that content is 100% owned by you as the creator. And so that's another big thing to know, is that you control all your content. So you have saved content that you can save, and you can also delete that content. And that comes directly out of our servers, so that you can control who has that. But you have full ownership of that. And so that's a big thing to know as well. And I think that the way that Ruby learns is that we are constantly training, not based on your content, but off of the world's content. And so, OpenAI stops at 2021. Claude's going in doing a lot of stuff now, and we're doing a lot of Googling, searching, and bringing in more Google indexing stuff to teach and train, to keep all that going. And then you look at different models to train other models too. So we have our own little ways of doing that.
Okay, that's cool though, that we keep our excuse me, we keep our content. That is something that's a very big piece right there, for sure. So Robert, gosh, I mean, like, we've been on here 45 minutes almost. I mean, it was supposed to be like 30 minutes, but I know we could talk forever about AI. No, it's good. Well, to me, I love it. I think it's amazing. I love this topic. It's helped me to become a better writer myself. It's helped me to learn to ask better questions. Gosh, I have done things, from writing an entire script of a PowerPoint to doing a blog post to, writing the content that goes like on Amazon, writing that introduction to our books. I use it for everything. Yeah. So
super important for the product descriptions. It's big. And I think if people will just try it, they'll just find the perfect place that it fits for them, and how they want to use it, whether you're the stay-at-home mom and dad, to the business entrepreneur, to a student or teacher. Every place will find Ruby in their heart somewhere, if they just put it to use a little bit.
Find a little Ruby in your heart.
She can do it. She's pretty amazing.
That's right. It's awesome. So go to myflix.ai/Lynda, LYNDA, Sunshine West, if you want to check it out, see what it's all about. And it's an amazing platform. It really is. I love how it keeps everything in one place, as well as, having all the different elements that we can use in order to make it easier for us to get our message out there, so we can make a greater impact on the planet. Robert, thanks so much for joining me here at Action Takers Publishing. It's been a pleasure. And we'll probably do a follow-up one maybe in about 6 months or so, and see where Ruby is at that time, to see how much further it's come along.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot different.
That's for sure. It just keeps growing, and we're going to grow with it. Robert, again, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, no problem.
One of the things that I've personally found from my experience of working with Action Takers Publishing is that I've walked away with more friends than I had before, because of the relationship that you build with the authors while working in an anthology. I think it's an amazing project to be able to get published. It's a fantastic way to get published the first time, and I've almost seen people who get hooked on doing anthologies, because once that bug is bitten, you feel like you can release more and more and more and more stories, and Linda's got a bunch of titles that I think resonates with a lot of us who live in the real world.